So, feeling a little overwhelmed by all the chatter around DepEd Order 15? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. I mean, teachers everywhere are looking at this massive policy document like it's some kind of intimidating new set of guild rules. But hey, don't worry, I've got you. I'm promising you a super clear, simple guide right here. We're going to decode these rules together so you can step into your classroom with total confidence.
Welcome to the Explainer. I am so incredibly excited to have you here today. Look, if you're a focused learner who just wants to cut through all the noise and get straight to the facts, you are exactly in the right place. Today, we're taking a completely different approach to government policy. We're actually using an anime-themed Level Up framework to make surviving and thriving under DepEd Order 15 incredibly easy to digest. Think of it as your ultimate strategy guide for the upcoming school year.
Okay, let's take a quick look at our roadmap. We've got new rules, training mode, boss battles, tech magic, the grading system, and finally, your quest board. Kicking things off with Part 1, New Rules for Leveling Up.
It's time to reframe how we actually look at this policy. Instead of seeing it as just another bureaucratic burden, let's look at it as the ultimate rulebook for the basic education curriculum. DepEd Order No 15 basically standardizes how we assess, grade, and recognize student progress across the entire country. The clock is absolutely ticking toward the 2026-2027 school year, and this policy is specifically designed to fix grade inflation and ensure every student's power level actually reflects their real abilities.
Now, to really master these new rules, we have to draw a hard line between our two main types of assessment. Think of formative assessment as your training mode. This is exactly where you check for learning gaps and practice those skills. And the biggest takeaway here, training mode should never, ever be graded. Then on the flip side, we have summative assessments. These are your boss battles. This is where students prove their achievement, and these are highly graded. Separating these two in your mind, it's going to immediately cut down your daily paperwork. Seriously, a real game changer.
Moving right along to Part 2, training mode or formative assessments.
So you might be wondering, how do we actually maximize this formative training arc without, drowning in extra tasks? Well, the guidelines introduce a super specific concept for this called the ESRU model. That stands for elicit, student response, recognize, and use. Think of it as a continuous combo move that happens while you are teaching, not some separate quiz you have to grade later that night.
And this brilliantly illustrates how the combo move actually works in practice. Okay, imagine you're teaching a math lesson. Step 1, you elicit information by asking a quick question. Step 2, you observe the student response, and maybe half the class looks completely confused. Step 3, you recognize that learning gap immediately. And Step 4, you use that information to adjust your lesson mid-flight and just re-explain the concept. Boom, that's it. That is formative assessment. Absolutely no red pens required, just pure responsive teaching.
All right, up next is Part 3, boss battles, also known as summative assessments.
Now, what's really interesting here is how DepEd is officially tackling assessment overload. To protect your time and prevent burnout, less is finally officially more. For grades 4 through 12, your boss battles are strictly capped. We're talking 3 to 5 written works per term, 2 to 3 performance tasks, exactly 2 summative tests, and 1 term exam per learning area. DepEd is heavily emphasizing quality over quantity here.
I really want you to see this directly from the source. These official recommended limits mean the days of assigning like 5 separate huge projects in a single term, they're totally over. By pacing out these assessments, you ensure that you don't burn out, and just as importantly, your students have the stamina to actually succeed in these high-stakes battles.
Let's shift gears to Part 4, handling tech magic, which covers the new AI guidelines.
So we are pivoting to a completely new frontier for DepEd, managing the tech magic of artificial intelligence in the classroom. The policy actually provides a remarkably clear framework for student AI use. It basically treats AI like a powerful, magical familiar. Incredibly useful, sure, but it requires strict summoning rules to maintain academic integrity. DepEd categorizes AI use into 3 distinct levels: prohibited, limited, and guided. This breakdown translates those rules perfectly. For prohibited, think your basic recall exams and supervised in-class writing, absolutely no AI allowed, and unauthorized use is flat-out academic misconduct. For limited, AI can act as a helper for grammar, vocabulary, or initial brainstorming, but students must disclose that they used it. And finally, for guided use, which is specifically recommended for older students, they can use AI for complex problem solving, but, and this is a big but, they have to document their prompts and demonstrate their own reasoning. It's all about teaching responsible use, right?
Next up is Part 5, Calculating Power Levels, or the grading system.
This is what every teacher wants to know right now. How are we calculating final grades under this new system? Well, for key stages 2 through 4, application matters significantly more than rote memorization. Notice how performance tasks, those authentic, real-world applications of skills, carry the absolute heaviest weight across the board.
Visually, it's just undeniable. If we look at core subjects like English or math, a massive 50% of the final grade relies entirely on performance tasks. Exams only make up 30%, and written works are down to just 20%. Guys, this is a monumental shift. It literally pushes students away from just cramming for tests the night before and really challenges them to demonstrate actual usable skills.
Okay, we need to address the elephant in the room regarding transmutation. There is a very specific timeline you need to be aware of here. For the upcoming school year 2026-2027, you will use an adjusted transmutation table as a transition measure. But please, prepare yourselves and your students right now, because starting in school year 2027-2028, DepEd is officially shifting to a zero-based grading system. That means the raw grade is the reported grade, with 75 as the passing mark. No more artificial bumps. It is a huge change.
Almost at the finish line, let's hit Part 6, your immediate action checklist.
We're nearing the end, so let's finalize your quest board with some immediate, actionable steps. Honestly, take a screenshot of this quest log right now. 1. Stop grading your formative training mode tasks immediately. Literally, save your energy. 2. Pace out your boss battles. Stick to those summative limits so neither you nor your students get overloaded. 3. Set crystal clear AI boundaries in your classroom and strictly enforce disclosure. And 4. Start gearing up your mindsets for that zero-based grading transition coming next year.
So, you now have the new guild rules completely decoded and your quest log is fully updated. The confusion is gone and the strategy is super clear. My final question for you is this. Armed with this awesome new knowledge, how will you help your students level up in your classroom tomorrow? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep adapting, and have a genuinely fantastic school year ahead.